Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Tomorrow's a big day. Larson's going to be coming over to my house, so we're going to load up some WWE 2K22. Should be some fun. We're going to be taking a look at a lot of the community creations out there. If you want your creation to show up in our whatever we're going to do tomorrow.
Like a draft.
Yeah, we're doing like a best of the Super Friendos type draft thing where we're going to draft the community creations we like, and then we're going to have them fight it out for essentially bragging rights. And so that should be a lot of fun. If you want yours to show up, to be on our radar, and you already have the game, you got the pre-release stuff or whatever it's called, early access, whatever they call it. Upload your stuff if you can get through to community creations, #Friendo, and that'll be the first thing we search, and you'll have priority. Otherwise, we'll just be scouring what everybody else did.
So do you want to do it
for the cream of the crop?
Do you want to do a tournament like we did with Best of Super Friendos then?
I kind of like going straight up you versus me. I don't know. You're usually good at structuring that stuff. So whatever you want to do, we'll do.
Okay, well we'll see what we can find tomorrow.
All right. It's fun when each match you've got a stake in something. I've got a stake in something.
Yeah. We can try to make that work. Ears of Justice says, well, I mean, if we're not playing it, we're just simming it.
Hey man, listen. If you got a guy and I got a guy, we put the controllers down, we just sim that shit, I'm going to be rooting for my guy.
Oh, of course you are. Of course you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Ears of Justice here says, all right, 24 hours to make my monsters. That's all I need.
Oh, Ears of Justice is, oh, man, cream of the crop. Ears of Justice knows what he's doing. So roll by twitch.tv/Steven Larson, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Larson and I haven't really, we've been in the same room for a show, for something for this channel once since pandemic started.
2 years, pretty much.
In the last 2 years, and that was because
my internet
your internet went out, but we had a show to finish. It was just a random ass NXT review. It was in our best of video at Friendo Club TV. We put it in there too. And then he just came over here and we awkwardly sat next to each other. Man. It was like you had like the microphone set up on like the table, just like the Pat McAfee show.
I should have broke it like Brock Lesnar did on Pat's show.
Right, exactly. Well, I'm not making $50 million a year like Pat McAfee, so I appreciate that you didn't do that. Anyways, so yeah, that's fun. There you go. It's gonna be a good time. Let's talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin coming back to the WWE for whatever you want to call it, a match, a brawl, an appearance. So Kevin Owens at the end of Monday Night Raw last night called out a bunch of superstars from Texas and gave his reasons as to why he wasn't inviting them to his special edition of the KO show at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They lost. They were one of two losers of that tag team
awesome
triple threat
tag match to open the show. Great.
Amazing match.
Great match.
Amazing match. RK Bro retained. So that left.
No, they won the titles. They won the titles.
Sorry, they won it back. Regained. That left Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins without something to do for WrestleMania. So Kevin Owens like, look, I'm going to ditch this guy. I'm just going to do a Kevin Owens show. And at the end of the broadcast, he called out in a wonderful promo, Stone Cold Steve Austin. This morning, there was this really awesome sort of cinematic promo that Austin dropped. Yeah.
Hats off to Stone Cold for producing a really well put together, well produced response video in less than 12 hours.
In kayfabe, he's got a really wonderful production team that could have done that.
Apparently.
I suspect it was probably maybe filmed in advance.
Oh, I guarantee you that was filmed in advance, Steve.
Oh, man, you got to keep up kayfabe. Say, no, I got it on good authority. Going in Raw Insider, say Steve Austin did it this morning. No, it was really fantastic. So he responded to Kevin Owens, said, yeah, I'm in. And this is interesting, man. So like the chatter leading up to this from the dirt sheets saying WWE wanted him for a match. Those talks started to break down a little bit. They weren't exactly sure what this is going to be. it seems like they might be getting to eat their cake, getting to have their cake and eat it too a little bit, because if Stone Cold doesn't want to tarnish his legacy, there's going to be a fight at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But you just don't call it a match, and you kind of have the best of both worlds. They can't market it as a match.
No, because
they can basically call it everything but a match.
It'll be a fight, yeah. It'll be a fight. Here, I have the transcript.
Oh, yeah,
courtesy
man,
of Wrestling Inc. of Austin's.
Oh, well, hold on. Dude, we got to save this for the actual moment in the show when it happens. We got to.
Well, Austin didn't do it in the actual show. He wasn't on the show.
No, I know, but chronologically speaking, it came after the show ended.
All right.
This is a tease. We're going to do at the end of our Raw recap, the response, but as read by Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald.
Yeah.
The entirety of it.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to do it now.
Okay.
They have no reason to keep on watching if I do.
I guess so. Steve's trying to improve our watch time here. So that's pretty huge. You know, over the last few weeks, it was a situation where WWE wanted Stone Cold for a match. He said for 19 years he had no interest in another match. You know, the way he framed it, I won't get into the exact verbiage of what he used, but it's pretty much, hey, Kevin Owens, you lit a fire in me. I'm coming to fight.
Yeah, interesting that the way he framed it. 19 years ago, I lost. It took 3 rock bottoms, and that hasn't sit well with him. I wonder, like, if that's how they're framing it, why not just say this is a straight up match, just for the marketing aspect of it, to make it feel bigger, as opposed to an appearance on the KO show. I wonder if I wonder if things are in flux. Maybe they're like, hey, we can agree that you want to be there. We're going to pay you a bunch of money. At the very least, you'll go, cut a promo, drop some stunners.
Yeah.
But maybe we can still talk, so we can call this a match once, in the next couple weeks. Do you think that's a possibility?
I don't know. I mean, it would take, I don't know. Again, for 19 years, he's been pretty adamant, I'm not going to have another match.
But the fact that he would reference that in his promo,
I know
that loss doesn't sit well with him, and he wants to go out on top. Doesn't that say to you that a match is a possibility, an actual match with a pin, 1, 2, 3?
I would think an actual match, if that motivation were not strictly kayfabe, if that was genuine, everything he's ever said about the end of his career, he seems to be at peace with at this juncture,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I think extensively about it.
The man is fine. I think the man is fine.
Yeah,
with
the
it.
character, though. But if that's the case, and if that's the angle they were going to go with, that he was, he's been, unhappy with how his career ended for 19 years. And if he thought, okay, I'll do a match, then just do it. Just say, accept your challenge. I'll see you at WrestleMania. We'll have a match. The fact that he hasn't said explicitly this is going to be a match, and I know we have about a month to go. I'm based on everything he said, based on that thing this morning, I'd still be pretty surprised if they had a match with an actual pinfall and a winner with their arms being raised with a referee in the ring. I'd still be really surprised. It seems like they're setting this up as just going to be a KO show bit. They're going to talk trash back and forth. They're going to brawl. Austin's going to hit a stunner. He's going to go over Owens and do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Throw some middle fingers at him.
Yeah.
And then, get a huge pop from the crowd. And that's going to be what it is,
I tend to agree with that. I think you're probably right about that. It's fun to talk about. And I'm excited. When I saw that promo and I saw how awesome it was, it sort of takes me back to that Broken Skull sessions when he was talking up Heyman about a Texas death match with Brock Lesnar. I was like, man, I don't know, man. I could kind of get there. It's kind of interesting because for the longest time, the excitement was around the idea of, Shawn Michaels. And I think it's interesting. I think that, because especially in the last couple of years, I mean, honestly, post the Owen Hart neck thing, the botched pile driver, his style drastically changed. Mm-hmm. He was a brawler. Mm-hmm. Nothing really exciting about his style. He was a really good storyteller, and some of his matches were excellent. The last one was an excellent match. I think 17 is known as a pretty damn good match. Besides,
save for the turn,
finish
it's
there,
a really good match.
Yeah, but so he could pull out some really gosh darn good matches. But But he's not the kind of guy. I don't know if he's the kind of guy that everybody's like, oh, come back, because I think his career ended so kind of perfectly.
Yeah.
But like with Shawn Michaels, it was like, man, I want to see if he can still do it.
Somehow Shawn Michaels managed to retire twice while at the top of his game.
And that's true. Yeah.
Whereas Stone Cold spoken extensively about how he was burnt out, his body was breaking down, he had bad knees, bad neck. Since then he says he's in good enough shape that if he wanted to have a match, he could do it.
Yeah, isn't it funny though that like Goldberg just keeps on going and going and going, and like Austin, everybody's like but I guess it's like we don't really care about Goldberg sullying his legacy. I don't know. It's interesting how fans perceive the different wrestlers and what they can do when they come back.
Totally.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Is he going to be all tan and shape, coming out in the young boy trunks? Probably not. Is he going to have the jorts on?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
A t-shirt, probably.
T-shirt, probably. But I don't know. I just suspect this dude's going to get into the best shape he possibly can, just to look as good as he can for WrestleMania.
If you see him on anything now, he's already in incredible shape. He talked about it on his podcast all the time, still working out.
Yeah.
You watch him on the Broken Skull sessions. Yeah, he's got his shirt on, but you see, like, he is still really muscular. He is still in incredible shape. He was talking about on one of his shows, like going eating keto for a spell to lose weight for one of his TV shows he had.
Yeah.
So it seems like he's still been lifting weights, keeping himself in good shape. I think that's because he enjoys it.
Yeah, but man, well, also he's on camera a lot.
Yeah.
And, there's that as well. But for all the chatter, and I know I've heard it too, about him wanting to, not come back and sully his legacy. There's always been like chatter here. Every couple of years, there's like, oh, Austin dropping hints that he might want another match. I wonder if it hits him every once in a while, if every once in a while it's like, I wouldn't mind cashing that paycheck, coming back for one more match, going on top. I don't know. Be interesting to find out. We're going to find out soon enough, though. Otherwise, another Brockless Raw.
Well, before we get to Raw, we got a little bit of news here that gets us really excited. This is very much
my goodness, how could I forget this?
A story tailored right for us. So just yesterday, we learned via WWE announcement that Vader was finally going to get into the WWE Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2022. Today, Andrew Zarian gave us an indication of who also might be inducted this year. And the answer, it is Sid.
Is this like the Going in Raw class? Is this what this is, man? We got Vader, one of our favorites, a guy who we've always been asking to get in the Hall of Fame, and now our guy Sid. Look, there's literally a painting of you, me, and Sid behind you right there. It's our guy.
In my opinion, the best worst wrestler of all time, Sid.
I think so. Did he come in at number one on that list that we did? The count out that we did?
I think so. I feel like I would.
He was in the thumbnail, anyways.
Yeah, he was. Let me see here for a second, because I know one of our Hall of. Oh, I didn't write it down that year. Crap. Our Hall of Fame class, one of them was like loaded.
Oh, it was one of the early ones. Yeah, it might have had Sid and Vader.
Sid didn't make it in the first year.
Oh wow, that's weird. He didn't become like really part of our lore until a little bit later, anyways.
So I was trying to see if they were all part of the same class. It doesn't look like.
Oh wow, they just they just watched one of our Friendo Awards.
They just watched one of our Friendo Awards, but they didn't all go in the same year.
Put them all in the same time. Yeah, no, this is great. I mean, if Luger goes in also this year, is this going to be like the definitive Going in Raw class? Like Undertaker, the only wrestler we've ever done like an homage shirt to, a guy that the impressions. Now it's Stone Cold. It used to be Undertaker was my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dead man.
So of course, also there's rumors that the Steiner brothers might go in this year too.
The Steiners, yeah, they're a very Going in Raw act. Scott Steiner,
yeah,
Big Papa Pump, yeah. That was Randy Savage. But
it could have been Braun Breaker too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that's some beef there, man. Like who would be next? You got Kane. I'm sorry, you got Undertaker, you got Vader, you got Sid, you got the Steiners. I don't know who else like that. That's a loaded class right there.
It really is. That's
something else right there.
It really is.
Yeah. So we'll find out who else is going to be in that Hall of Fame. Might have to actually, because it's going to be like after SmackDown on that Friday, right?
Yeah.
Might have to do a watch along to that one, man.
Maybe. Here, let me see. I got the list here for 10. Oh, no.
Oh, Enforcer's got the link right here.
Yeah, I actually have the list here. Take a guess on who was number one. It's not Sid on best worst wrestlers.
The best worst wrestlers. The best worst wrestlers.
Sid was 4.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Was Luger on that list?
Yeah, 7.
Okay, wow. Oh, man. Give me a hint.
Well, Lou says Goldberg. Goldberg was 2.
Wow.
The correct answer is in chat right now.
Is it Warrior?
6. Warrior was
Warrior
6.
6. Mongo?
Not on the list.
Oh, Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash was number 1.
Okay, that's good. No, that's actually solid. You know what I was thinking of doing? This is totally an aside. What I was thinking of doing is having Rob take a look at those old countouts and see if he can bring him down to 12 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we rip off Mr. Sunday movies, but for wrestling.
Yeah.
That could be fun. I'll have to reach out to Rob.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Say, Rob, you're amazingly talented. I don't know why I'm
Rob
talking
is
in a British
amazingly
accent.
talented. Amazing talent, that Rob Server.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break here to get a word in from our sponsor, BetterHelp. So, Larson.
Yes.
I'm sure you know that relationships take work. A lot of us will drop everything and go out of our way to help someone we care about. But how often do we give ourselves that same treatment?
BetterHelp is here to remind us that you got to take care of the most important relationship in your life, the one you have with yourself. Several years ago, I started dealing with severe anxiety, and it was then that I learned firsthand how important it is to take care of myself and talk to a therapist. But I also learned that it can be really tough to find the right person to talk to. Today, BetterHelp's online therapy makes that process of finding a therapist much more convenient by offering video, phone, or even live chat therapy sessions. You can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours.
Remember that you are your greatest asset, so invest as much time in yourself as you do the others in your life. Check out our sponsor, BetterHelp. And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/raw.
That's BetterHelp.com/raw.
And let's get a word from our sponsor, Chime. So, Larson.
Yes, Steve?
We may be 3 months into the new year, but that doesn't mean we can't all make a change for the better in 2022. And what better way to make a change than by getting yourself a better checking account with no monthly fees?
Yeah, we may be 3 months into the year, Steve, but a fee-free 2022 sounds great. And with Chime, an award-winning app and debit card, you'll get no overdraft fees, no foreign transaction fees, no monthly fees, and no service fees. You can also send money to anyone, even if they aren't on Chime. It's fee-free for you and no cash-out fees for them.
And with over 60,000 fee-free in-network ATMs, including at most Walgreens, 7-Elevens, and CVS locations, you can get your money when you need it, where you need it.
So make your first good choice of the new year and join over 10 million people using Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and does not affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/raw. That's chime.com/raw.
Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Get fee-free transactions at any MoneyPass ATM in a 7-Eleven location and at any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Otherwise, out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. Sometimes pay anyone instant transfers can be delayed. The recipient must use a valid debit card or be a Chime member to claim funds.
And before we get back to the show, let's get a word from our sponsor, Coinbase. So, Steve, I got to be honest with you. I've been curious about getting into the world of cryptocurrency, but I honestly find it all really overwhelming. I have no idea where I should even start. Where do I start, Steve? Do you know where I should start? Where do I start?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I was there once with you. But then I started using Coinbase, which makes learning to buy and sell cryptocurrency simple. Coinbase's easy-to-use platform has basically turned me from a crypto dullard into a crypto pro. It was a breeze to start my own portfolio, and Coinbase supports the most popular digital currencies on the market, as well as offering portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app, so I can keep tabs of all my crypto in one place.
So whether you're looking to diversify, get started, or just find a better way to get into crypto markets, get started today with Coinbase.
For a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/going-in. Sign up at coinbase.com/going-in for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only.
All right, let's talk Raw now, I suppose.
Yeah.
They showed that the footage of the Roman and Brock altercation at Madison Square Garden a lot last night. I guess it's kind of a huge story beat. So I guess that they kind of have to.
Is it? Like they think it is your point, I think.
Yeah, in Universe, they feel like it's a huge story beat where Roman just beats up and bloodies Brock on the road to WrestleMania, holds up both those titles. However, it doesn't really matter. We're still about a month away from the show. Math can change.
It's not go home math.
It's not go home math. Roman's still going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just for the Madison Square Garden crowd.
Well, for the viewing audience on Raw last night, too, because they filmed it.
Yeah, they filmed it. It was so amateurishly filmed, too. They should have had Stone Cold should have brought his people out to film
They should have had Claudio as disguised cameraman from AEW Revolution.
I'm putting together our Revolution. I was putting together Revolution reactions this morning. I haven't gotten to that match, though, but I'm like, okay, how am I going to structure this? This is a very important part of the process.
So let's talk about this, because this kind of came out of nowhere. Edge. He's got this new thing now where he just like comes out to a single like purple spotlight, and then the whole ring is bathed in kind of purple light while he drops a promo about how he's unlocked a new version of himself.
Yeah.
And like he's saying, AJ, because the whole idea of the segment was announced in advance, is like he was to come and explain why he did what he did to AJ. And I'm like, he said it last week.
Yeah.
He said, I want the best version of AJ Styles. I want the Bulldog.
Yeah.
So he comes out with his new presentation. It says virtually the same exact thing.
He does. I want the Pitbull, yeah.
I want the Pitbull. I helped you, but also you helped me. My brain has been cracked open and let the real me fly. And it's like, you don't have to. Maybe it's something Edge really wants to try because he's got the suit on. It's sort of like slow talking Chris Jericho, that gimmick he had years back, where he was he had a very deliberate pace to his speech. Try to be like Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. Edge didn't really change his cadence when he talked.
No,
he just had a suit on. But it just seems like they're overthinking things. People just want to see Edge and AJ in the ring have a really good match.
Oh, man, I don't know. They kind of like, that, holy crap, that Maggie had mentioned how many views the YouTube version of Roman Brock at Madison Square Garden had. Take a guess.
I saw the Instagram video that got over like 5 million views or something like that.
It's like their most viewed Instagram thing. I didn't see how many had. This has 3.5 million.
Yeah, I think it was
views.
5.3 million for the
That's
Instagram.
Like Wrestling News Now numbers. So that's cool. Yeah, dude. I don't know. You know what, man? This is a sort of thing where here's the positives, because it was a little on the goofy side, and he talked a lot and said nothing. But it honestly wasn't even. His entrance was as long as the promo. Promo wasn't actually that.
It
long.
wasn't that long because
So that was good.
They have the purple spotlight on the stage, and then his music starts and then just fades out. They got to come with something creative in terms of stopping music other than the record scratch.
They need to not do his music.
Yeah, it should be no music.
It should be, because here's the thing. Nobody else has like just a straight up blue spotlight.
You know what it should just be? Because he started his promo this way. You should just hear, "You think you know me," and that's it.
I thought that's what it was going to be, because I sort of saw some of this stuff on social beforehand, and if it was just, "You think you know me," and then nothing else, and maybe it echoes out or something, that could be cool. And then you get that blue spotlight. Hopefully this is the only time they do it, and then they don't do it again, but they probably will, because they're dummies.
They'll do this till WrestleMania, and then he'll just be back to the Edge he was before after that.
I don't know. I hope not. I really hope so. Look, I will say this about it to be positive. Sometimes a decent idea has to go through a learning process. It has to go through some focus grouping, and I like that it seems, at the very least, if not with his words, the presentation seems fairly focused. He seems to understand the general idea of what he wants to do, even if he's not exactly sure how to translate that to his actual promo. He wants to go in a different direction, kind of like what you said with the Jericho thing, the Anton Chigurh thing. And so I appreciate that it's not something a bit more generic. Or he's not going back to, just strictly the rated R superstar, the ultimate opportunist. This is a new version of Edge that we haven't seen before. And I appreciate that. If you're going to do something new, if you're going to be inspired by something, if you're going to understand that, hey, I want this specific direction in mind for my entrance and my lighting, I like that. I think that's good. I think that's like there's some thought and effort being placed into it. So I'm cool with that. It would be nice if there was a little bit more understanding of his motivation. But I guess, him saying, he felt this rush of power. And, that combined with the experience and the wisdom he's had, his time away, he's back and he's like, man, I feel like I'm the king shit of this industry.
Pretty much what he said.
And I can rule it all. I'm cool with that. I think that's all right. I think that this Edge, maybe it'll work. It's just, the promo was kind of wonky because he just reiterated what he said about AJ. But then he started going into the stuff about being on the mountain. And I don't know. I liked it more than I didn't like it. It didn't overstay its welcome. It'd be cool. Somebody here mentioned it'd be cool if Edge had his own ministry. It would be cool if he developed his own faction. I could see him as like sort of an Undertaker type, not a supernatural guy, but a guy who is manipulative and would lead his own faction. I could see this going in cool places. Will it? Who knows? It's been proven that in his return, he can have some darn good matches.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just the extent of AJ's injury. They said he had like a neck contusion or something like that. I was like, are they ruling him out of WrestleMania? Are they doing something else for Edge at WrestleMania? I mean, it's going to be AJ.
I mean, neck contusion is just a bruise, man.
Yeah. I was thinking of occlusion. Isn't that what Rey Mysterio had
with his
eye? It was the eye.
Yeah.
Occlusion.
I think that's when it pops out.
Is that what it was? Yeah, I think it pops out. But yeah, still, I don't know. Look, if I had a bruise on my neck, I'd probably be out for 6 months. But I'm not AJ Styles.
Depends on the nature of the bruise.
I guess so. But yeah, no. It'll be interesting to see if if AJ has some like cool golden AJ. Maybe that's what they'll do. They'll take some inspiration from 2K19.
Yeah.
And they'll give us golden AJ
That'd be
to
good.
Combat blue quantum leaping Edge.
See, that'd make it all worth it.
There you go. See, I just turned a turd into
something good.
Not a turd.
In terms of in-ring action, this show is definitely highlighted by the tag team title bout. They gave it a ton of time, about almost 30 minutes.
It was the entirety of the segment from beginning to end was almost an hour.
Yeah.
Like from the beginning of the show, there was some promo stuff till when the last time we saw the participants, it was damn near an hour. I loved that,
close.
man.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
I love that.
Yeah, the match was great. Opening segment was a bit long, but the match itself was phenomenal. So
It was, yeah, absolutely. That was really good. Let's see here. What else was going on last night? I even thought like the Miz stuff with Logan Paul and Jerry Lawler was maybe my expectations were so like off the charts bad that like I was like, oh, this wasn't even that long.
It wasn't, and the kind of punchline at the
necessarily.
end was
we got
decent.
Braun Breakers. I thought the punchline at the end was pretty funny. I thought Logan Paul's reaction, especially, like, oh shit, what? I'm not sure I'm on board with this.
Well, then they walked out, and I think Logan Paul said to him, "Why'd you do that?"
Yeah, it's like, what is your problem? Miz is like, no, it's all good. We're good to go.
Let's get out of here.
I like that aspect of it. I thought that was actually pretty decent. We had Braun Breaker's Raw debut.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if this is how they're going to do call-ups where they just sort of phase people in, aren't you killing the drama of like the call-up? That's what I sort of realized.
Well,
like on one hand, we're going to get some continuity between characters. Like he's the same guy. But like we're not going to get the big dramatic call-up anymore.
See, I guess to a degree it depends on the character and the story they want to tell. Because yeah, there's something cool and impactful about the huge debut. But several times we saw the huge debut and then they didn't really do anything from a story perspective afterwards. Remember Nakamura debuted on SmackDown to confront The Miz, and you're like, oh, that's really cool. Different styles there. You could tell a story there. Miz was drafted to Raw like 2 weeks later. They never had that match. And Nakamura didn't have his first match for like 5 weeks against Dolph on pay-per-view.
It was a long time, yeah.
So like the way they're introducing Ciampa to Raw, that I don't mind. They're using NXT as a bridge to tell the story, bringing Dolph and Bob Roode there. But for some people, yes, you want that kind of surprise shock thing to show up immediately and make a massive impact. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if that doesn't have to be the norm.
Yeah.
Like actually introducing a story that motivates someone to go from NXT to Raw or SmackDown, that doesn't bother me.
I'm okay with that. No, you're right. I'm okay with giving us a story. But like, I hope they mix it up.
Yeah.
You know who's going to do this in a killer way? It's going to be Ring of Honor to AEW.
Yeah, I know.
They're going to do some fucking call-ups that are going to they're gonna be motivated by story and give us the dramatic call-up. Anyway.
Yeah, probably. Oh wow, you get a Stone Cold What T-shirt for $14, Steve.
I'm torn on that one. What? Let's see here. What else happened? Let me Edge's promo.
So let me ask you a question because I don't recall the answer to this. Have Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan tagged more than one match together before tonight?
Did they tag before tonight?
I know they were at a 6-woman tag match, I think, last week.
Oh, but not like 2-1. Yeah, I don't. Is Rhea Ripley like the new Sheamus?
Well, I was thinking Cesaro. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Cesaro was the guy who would go from
always in tag team.
Yeah.
So they have like one of their first or second matches as a tag team.
Yeah.
And I like both Liv, Rhea. I like them. I think they're really good. They could be a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems a little early for them to be a team and suddenly get a title shot at WrestleMania.
So wait, are they doing this as like
it's a triple threat now?
A triple threat now? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Put Rhea on the show. I don't know. Yeah, that's stupid.
Do you want to have them as a team? Tell a story. Tell a story of them.
They just posted a picture on social media together in the same shot.
It's just it's this thing where like, oh, we're 3 weeks away from WrestleMania. Let's try to come up with some stories to motivate people getting the matches. Now you can maybe say, well, Rhea, she lost the titles to Carmella and Zelina. She wants to get them back, so she needs a new partner because obviously Nikki ASH and her aren't getting along anymore. That's fine, but just give me that story.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. Eagle-Eye viewers will know last week Liv Morgan was admiring Rhea Ripley's vest.
I know.
There's your story, man.
Oh, bonding over a vest.
Yeah. Hey, this looks cool. You want to be a tag team partner? Sure. Right there. They did it. They did. The story's done.
Well, they motivated the team. That's not necessarily a story, though.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm with you. When I saw that, I was like, oh, why are they together? And then they didn't.
Yeah, then suddenly they get a title match at WrestleMania.
Rhea Ripley's such a badass.
Yeah,
too.
she is. She's incredible.
She's such a badass.
She is incredible.
Yeah, dude. I know it sucks. Honestly, it's why they need a mid-card title. The tag team stuff just doesn't. It's silly. Like, look, you want to do the tag team stuff? Do the tag team stuff. Hire some more people. Put together some actual teams.
Exactly.
Have a women's tag division.
Put together teams.
Like,
I know.
The original way that they were going to do it was across brands. Now NXT, they still have their women's titles. So do it with SmackDown and Raw. And then introduce a mid-card title and just give it to Rhea.
Yeah.
The USA title.
Like Triple H got the World Heavyweight title. Just give the mid-card title to Rhea.
You know that she's going to beat all the mid-carders. I mean, the only reason she's not in the main event is because Bianca's going to be a big star. And then Ronda Rousey's here. But, and then Asuka's still in the waiting. Man, they've got too many people. They need to get a mid-card title or maybe learn how to tell stories.
I mean, I think that's the real thing. They need to learn how to tell stories better.
If you got a title, you don't need to tell stories. Anyways,
but if you don't have titles, you need to tell stories.
Yeah.
And not everybody can have a title.
Got to do one or the other, man.
Yeah, you can't not do both.
Yeah. We're sitting here for 3 hours. Give us something.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyways, it opened up with Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins coming out for a promo in advance of the tag match. Seth introduces the crowd to the show, says he's fired up, he's excited because they are moments away from becoming the new Raw Tag Champs. Owens says it's been a tough year for them every week. They're this close to securing their spot at Mania. Something would keep it from happening. Seth says the deck has been stacked against them, but tonight their luck finally changes because they're taking the tag titles and going to Mania. He says, think about it. We were this close. We're this close. Can you imagine what Mania would look like without us? No one says. I can't imagine it. I can't believe it was that close. No one else. I can't believe once they win the tag titles, they'll go to Mania. They'll have to compete in that dump known as Dallas, Texas. But it's a sacrifice they have to make. The only thing that makes it bearable is that he'll be at WrestleMania with my best friend.
My best friend. Absolutely. Yeah, Seth says, dreams sometimes do come true. He throws the video package of how they got there by beating RK Bro. Seth says, that was 2 weeks ago, but last week was even better. Come on, let's roll that footage. We'll see that footage. And it shows them beating Alpha Academy. And then Kevin Owens goes on a tirade using the word undeniable, which, of course, was made famous by Cody Rhodes. He invented the word undeniable in a promo back in 2019. And he says, it's undeniable. He says, we are undeniable. It's undeniable that Dallas sucks. It's undeniable that Shorty G and Otis suck and that RK Bro sucks. He's interrupted by Alpha Academy. Shoosh. Shoosh is on their Tron. It's on their shirt.
It starts their theme now.
It starts their theme now. Shoosh.
Vince really likes it.
They know how to run something just into the ground.
That they do.
He says the victory last week was erroneous. It was a joke, a fluke. He says he was still reeling from the stunner KO gave him. He says he's an Olympian. He has a master's degree. That means if anyone should compete at Mania, it's Master Gable and his number one guy, Otis. He said, just look at him. And he gives him a kiss on the cheek. He says, so tonight they're going to finish this crap, retain their title, and then they're going to defend them at WrestleMania. After that, we had an RK Bro interview. Man, I don't know if there's anybody happier in the WWE than Randy Orton.
He said as much after they won the titles.
That was a beautiful moment, by the way. We'll get there.
As genuine as we see on WWE TV.
Yeah, we'll get there in a second. Backstage, though, Riddle at the gorilla position. Riddle says, bro, I've got a pretty extensive vocabulary. He says, when I get the wheels really turning, he says, I realize the most important night, and this is the most important night in RK Bro's career, and I'm not going to let us end our stupendous journey. He says, Orton, do you have any big words for, because Kevin asked him if you have any words for what's going to happen tonight. And Orton gets all jacked up and he's like, I got one word, win. And he says, we're going to kick everyone's asses in that ring and reclaim our titles. He's all jazzed up and Riddle gets all jazzed up and they come out. And instead of like riding his scooter all the way down, Riddle sort of ditches the scooter at the top of the ramp and trucks down with him with a big strut. It was really good stuff here with these guys. And then this match was absolutely killer, dude.
It was fantastic. They did a really good job of giving every team an opportunity to control the pace of the match and isolate, one member of the other team. At one point, there's this great bit where Randy gets a hot tag. He starts laying out everybody, and he starts belly to backing people on the announce table.
Oh, yeah.
And so he tries to do one to Otis. Otis blocks it. Riddle runs up from behind, clobbers Otis, and they do it together. It was fantastic. And I believe at that point, Raw rolls on. Down towards the finish here. So Riddle locks on the triangle on Seth. Gable breaks up with a diving headbutt, and he starts doling out German suplexes to everybody. He hits a suplex to Riddle. He goes up top looking for a moonsault. Riddle rolls out of the way. Randy comes in, RKO's Gable mid-moonsault.
Yeah.
And so,
oh my God, that was amazing.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
So Owens hits the ring, super kicks Randy, then Otis. Seth super kicks Otis, and then they both super kick Otis. They pick up Gable. They set up for their finish. They hit the buckle bomb, the stunner, the stomp, and then as Seth is about to go for the pin on Gable, Riddle throws him out of the ring, covers Gable to get the win for RK Bro. We have new tag champions.
Oh, man, it was great. So afterwards, they have an interview. Riddle says, this victory means that we're going to go to WrestleMania, and Orton gets on the mic, and I've never seen this guy so happy. And he says as much. He says, I've been doing this now for more than 20 years, and I've never had this much fun as I'm having right now in this ring with my partner, Riddle. He means that from the bottom of his heart. He says, I'm about to use the F word, and he's going to say, fuck, and he doesn't. He says, I've never called anyone this in 20 years, but Riddle is my friend. And truth be told, I don't have any other friends other than Riddle. We're going to WrestleMania. And Riddle looked legitimately touched and Orton looked legitimately happy.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
Yeah, It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I wonder if Orton is sort of because he is who he is. I wonder if he's going to have the stroke to say, I don't want to pull the trigger on a turn yet. I wonder if they're going to be like, hey, we want to turn you guys. He might be like, we'll wait on that.
It's entirely possible. I mean, if anybody's going to have the stroke backstage to do that, it's going to be him.
If
Been with the company for more than 20 years.
If anybody is smart back there, they'll be like, we want to keep him happy because he is incredibly entertaining and we can push this as long as we need to because it's just going to keep on going. And they can this isn't the kind of thing in the Shield where they're peaking and then you do it. You can't do it. You can't do it while these guys are peaking. It's like the best thing they got going right now.
I know. We get a quick shot of Kevin Owens backstage. He's distraught about their loss. Both Owens and Seth out in the ringside area after they lost because they had the match won. It was there.
Oh, it was there.
It was there for them to win it. If not for Riddle tossing Seth out of the ring, they would have won. So they're just tore up about it.
Yeah.
So we get a quick shot of Owens. He's distraught. We go to the ring for a 24/7 title match between Dana Brooke and Tamina. Before the bout, though, we get promos. First from Dana and Reggie. Reggie is telling Dana, you got this. She asks for a good luck kiss. He says, of course, they kiss. We go to Tamina and Tozawa. Tamina is getting ready for the match. Tozawa says, I want to give you a good luck kiss. And she grabs him by the face, kisses him. And then
rams him up against the
garage door
there.
Yeah. She leaves. Match happens. It's really short. Tamina puts Dana in a Boston Crab. Dana reverses that to roll up for the win. Afterwards, Tozawa gets on the mic and says, Dana, you cheated. The winner of this match and the love of my life, Tamina. So he extends his arms out looking for a hug. And Tamina comes up to him, pushes his arm down, turn around, and leaves. And then she stops before leaving the ring and blows him a kiss.
That was nice. She's like, look, now's not the time, but I still like you. Afterwards, we had a Seth Rollins interview. Not quite. Doesn't actually say anything. He just gets mad. Let's pause here for a second.
All right.
What's he going to do at WrestleMania? Austin Theory's got a match with Pat McAfee.
You guys assume Finn Balor's going to have a match with Damian Priest.
Right. Kevin Owens is going to have a thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin. The main event is set. AJ and Edge have a match. Big E is now with Kofi Kingston on SmackDown.
Your host for WrestleMania, Seth Rollins.
Oh, man, no. Oh, wow.
Because it's not a certainty that Cody Rhodes is coming to the WWE. It's not.
That's the last thing that he can do, though, right?
Like if he's going to have a high-profile match, yeah, probably.
Ryan's Rubik's Cube here says Amos.
But then also says lol. So I don't think that's
I know, but they are building Amos up to be a thing. I don't want to see that match. No. If anybody can bring Amos to a decent match, it's Seth, but I don't want to see
Lou has it right. Imagine the outfit changes. That's why I thought of it.
No, it's look.
He could host the show and try to be all happy about it, but he's like just absolutely crushed inside.
If somebody pitched that to him in kayfabe, he would do the thing where he'd come around and he'd be like, oh, I love it. But yeah, and then they could do a thing.
Yeah, that's like a chip he could have on his shoulder for the whole next year, you know?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah, no, this is totally true. Amos and Aziz, they're going to have a thing in the battle in the Andre.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. And Forza says, Broad Breaker, yeah.
Yeah. So next we have Miz's Homecoming with Logan Paul and Jerry Lawler. Miz is out first. He's getting some love from the audience. He says, you hear that? That's respect. He throws to the video recap of Miz TV with Logan Paul and the Mysterios, where specifically the clip where Dom accepts the match, where he's pretty dismissive of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Miz says, can you believe the disrespect from Dom to Cleveland's two hometown boys? That's when Miz introduces Logan Paul. Paul comes to the ring, says, good to be home, honored to be Miz's tag team partner, to be going to WrestleMania, and honored to be home in Cleveland. Talks about growing up there, being a wrestler, placing 5th in the state of Ohio. So he's got nothing but respect for the city. Miz says, yeah, and you made it on your own. He says, if I had followed my dad's footsteps, I would have been flipping burgers at Mr. Hero.
Yeah.
He says, but Ray got Dom a WWE contract before he was ready. He says, Ray is a legend. He and Dom have done some incredible things together. Ray has earned the right to be beloved. but Dom hasn't. He says everything Ray has done, he's done. Oh, sorry.
He said,
everything
but don't
that Ray
I
has
deserve
done,
them.
I
deserve the
yes.
cheers, yeah.
But he gets cheered, and why do I get booed? He says the only way Ray or Dom has beat me so far is by cheating. Who would you rather see in the ring? A father-son team of losers or the pop culture icons before you? Then Logan joins in, says Ray is a legend. Dom is riding his coattails. That's not what we do in Cleveland. Lawler comes out after being introduced by Miz, talks about why he's got the Browns jersey on, his history with the city.
And he's going through like all the little the smaller cities or the smaller towns in the Cleveland area.
Yeah.
And, the crowd's eating it up. So he's talking about all that stuff. He wore his Browns jersey because he was in Cleveland when the Browns won the NFL championship in '64. He says, I'm so excited to be here for Miz's homecoming. He says, what's so cool is that I'm looking at Miz standing beneath that Mania sign. He says, hey, everybody, what do you guys think about a WrestleMania being hosted here in Cleveland? And they all pop big. It was a hot crowd last night.
Yeah.
They all pop big. Logan says, yeah, that's awesome. And everybody's into it. And then Miz says, Really? And Miz played this pretty straight.
Yeah.
Which made it even better. He says, you think so? I don't know. He's like, look, no. And everybody starts booing him. He's like, no, look, I love Cleveland. He says, come on, you were just cheering me. He's like, I love Cleveland. But Cleveland's not really a WrestleMania city. Let's be real. He says, the city couldn't actually handle the pyro of WrestleMania. They can barely handle the pyro when the river's on fire. Or the lake is on fire, rather. Yeah. He says, I don't even live here anymore. He says, this is the thing about Cleveland. When you have any success here, you leave. He says, sort of like when the Browns moved to Baltimore and then won a Super Bowl there. He says, LeBron James won a championship here and left. He says, but not only that, he mentions LeBron. He mentions
Odell Beckham. Yeah.
Odell Beckham. He says, honestly, I think it's time for me and Logan to take our talents to Mania because winners leave Cleveland. Bye-bye. And then him and Logan leave. And he leaves, and Lawler and Logan are like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Logan looks supremely awkward, and he's like, okay, wait. And he gets out, and he's like trying to, talk to the Miz about like, why did you just do that? And he's like, no, let's get out of here. Come on.
Yeah. It was actually pretty effective.
The punchline was pretty good.
And they're setting up for once Miz and Logan lose, Logan punching Miz and knocking him out probably. At the end of their match.
So we got some ideas here in chat for what they can do for Seth. So I thought about this too. What if Seth, let's see here. Who is this? Okay, so Muted Mayday predicts that Seth and Kevin Owens are going to attack Stone Cold, and someone's going to come out and make it a tag match. What if that man is Goldberg? Dude, people would pop huge for Stone Cold and the guy that everybody wanted Stone Cold to face back in the Monday Night War, Goldberg. Goldberg and Steve Austin against Seth and Kevin Owens. Huge.
Oh, you just made my headache so much worse.
Huge.
Don't want to see it.
Huge.
Don't want to see it.
Oh, man. People would mark out, dude. Not our people. Yeah, see, Dope. There you go. Dope says, banger.
If Goldberg is involved in WrestleMania, I want him involved in one capacity and one capacity only, and that's losing to Big E.
That ain't going to happen. Big E's in a tag team. He's probably not even going to be at WrestleMania.
So next we had Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Doing an interview. So Braun's asked, hey, what do you think of Raw? He's like, I'm taking it all in. This is all very exciting. He says, I'm not worried about the Dirty Dogs having home field advantage on Raw. He says, it's an honor to be here to compete. I'm representing NXT tonight, and I'm going to make the most of this opportunity and get my hands on Dolph and Bob Roode. Ciampa says Dolph has every right to talk a big game. He's won almost every championship there is except that one, the NXT title. Since they've beaten Dirty Dogs before, they're going to do it again, this time on Raw.
After that, we had a Street Profits interview. Ford says 4 weeks is plenty of time for us to make our way to Mania. He says, last week we pinned RK Bro, so if anybody is next in line for a title shot, it's us. And Dawkins says Alpha Academy and go to the back of the line. Ford says Seth and Kevin Owens are moping around, so if anyone's next in line, it's us. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be Street Profits, Alpha Academy. the New
RK
Day.
Bro.
They're all not going to go to Mania. Well, RK Bro will.
Well, I'm thinking they might do Street Profits.
How about this?
RK Bro Alpha Academy for the tag titles.
RK Bro versus Steve Austin and Goldberg at WrestleMania. Night 2. Night 1, they beat Seth and Kevin Owens. Night 2, the new tag team of Austin and Goldberg win the Raw tag team titles. Why don't they just hire me? Why don't they just hire me? 'Cause that's it. That's it.
Not into it. Then we get a tag match, Dirty Dogs versus Tommaso Ciampa, Braun Breaker. But first we get a Braun video package. Nat or something.
Larson versus Nat at WrestleMania.
I went over there.
Larson and Nat versus Stone Cold Steve Austin and Goldberg WrestleMania. Can Larson and Nat coexist?
The answer is no.
I don't think so. You just killed him.
Got to wipe him off my finger. Anyway, so we get a Braun video package. I was hoping this would be the one where he said, if you want a friend, get a dog. Sadly, it wasn't that one. It's just an introductory thing.
Yeah. If you want a friend, get a dirty dog.
Yeah. Anyways, Braun ends up getting the win for his team, hitting his finish on Dolph. Afterwards, Dolph grabs the mic. He says, "Congratulations. You pulled one over on the Dirty Dogs. I loved how you two worked so well together as a team, but tomorrow night, there's a triple threat for the NXT title. And the second, Braun, you turned your back on me and look at Ciampa. That's the one I strike and become the next NXT champ. Braun, you'll be stuck with your world crumbling around you, and I'll have another trophy for my big-ass trophy case."
The thing that I love about Dolph is when he loses, he becomes even more arrogant. And I love that promo on NXT when he was like, yeah, 9 times out of 10, I probably lose a match.
I know.
I love it. I think it's great.
Then we got a Moss promo. He was just saying how many people they got to dominate to get my Mania moment. He says, I've annihilated everyone for one reason. I'm going to take my Mania moment, even if I have to punish and dominate every superstar till there are none left. And then he goes out and he destroys Apollo Crews. Yeah,
and he's staring at Aziz the whole time. For some reason, the crowd's really cheering for Aziz versus Amos. I get it; they're big, but they're both kind of not great. I don't like Amos, but I don't know. Wouldn't logic dictate if a guy is that dominant, he would just go straight to the title? Just fast forward to him and Brock.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're that huge and you haven't lost, yeah.
It never, that's the booking of those big men. They got to give them something to do because, if you're that dominant, just go get the title.
Maybe, silently, there is power rankings backstage. They just don't talk about them.
No, that could be, yeah.
And he hasn't accrued enough wins to get a title shot. Even though, does anybody have, a losing record or not win a match for months and they get a title shot? So, obviously, that's not the case.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad there with Dabity. Anyways, after that we had that Edge promo. We sort of talked about this a little bit. He says he asked the crowd, "You think you know me?" He says, "Clearly AJ doesn't know me." He says, "AJ, I know you're at home right now, so I'm going to speak it directly to you. Maybe put the kids away. Maybe put them to bed. Don't let mom see this." He says, "What I did last week, I did for you." He says, "I did it to help you, AJ. I want to see the pit bull." He says, "So I helped you." He says, "But ironically, AJ helped me too." He says, "It was like his brain cracked open and let the real me free to fly, and it felt good. And it was a me I haven't met before, and it's a me that I've fallen in." Hello, me. It's me again.
Yeah.
So he says, "I finally feel in control of everything in this ring, of anything that will happen in this industry." He says, "I'm standing on the mountain of omnipotence, and the view is phenomenal."
Yeah.
It's like a godlike figure now.
Yeah, he is, seemingly. Then we get Kevin Owens' interview. He says, "I'm not as distraught as Seth is because that feeling I had after we lost, I don't want to feel that ever again. And I don't have to because I just had an epiphany. I just had an idea. And that idea is going to change my entire WrestleMania future. I'm not going to share it. I've got to iron out some details, but I have a plan. And I'm going to share that plan when I'm ready with everyone tonight."
Yeah. After that, we had Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley versus Carmella and Zelina Vega. Unfortunately, well, Rhea was dominating a lot of this, and then Carmella went out and she just started chatting up with Corey Graves, which led Zelina Vega just to be on her own. She got hit with a riptide after a code breaker from Liv Morgan, and then so they won. So they have been added to that women's match at Mania.
Yeah. Yep. Then we get Finn Balor versus Austin Theory. This match was going on pretty fine. It was plenty enjoyable. Finn hits the shotgun drop kick, goes up top for a coup de grace. Damian Priest materializes out of nowhere, gets on the apron, shoves Finn off the top turnbuckle, and like drapes his throat over the top rope, hits him with the razor's edge. So Finn wins via DQ. After all that, Theory gets back in the ring, hits Finn with an ATL, and then takes a selfie with him.
Yep. After that, we had a Bianca Belair interview. I like her shirt where it says, "Thou shalt not touch my hair."
Yeah.
She says, "I'm going to use." She says, "Will I?"
Yeah.
Will you use your hair at Mania as a weapon? She says, "I've got one simple rule: don't touch my hair." She says, "I don't need to use it to win." She says, "I am a Mania main eventer, and so is Becky. We should go out there throwing it down with respect." She says, "But since Becky tried to use my hair against me, she was asking for it." She says, "Becky's scars may last forever, but will not last forever as Becky's title reign, because I'm going to put the EST in Mania and walk out Raw Women's Champion."
So apparently Becky is injured.
What it was like a throat injury.
Yeah, to be out for a couple of weeks, I think Meltzer said.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I saw the little hospital picture of her.
Then she cut a promo from backstage as well.
Yeah.
Then we got Kevin Owens to close the show.
Voice box. Yeah, there you go, Meg. That's what it was.
And says, I don't have a match at Mania, but I can't. Says I know it's undeniable now. I don't have a match or official. I don't have a match at Mania, but I can accept that now because I found a way to get there. It depends on the answer to the challenge that I'm about to issue. He says, I want to have the most stupendous edition of the Kevin Owens show in history, and I want to have it at WrestleMania. And I've been thinking about who my guest could be, and considering where Mania is being held. I know it has to be some lowlife from Texas. So there's some people I could invite. Blowhard, JBL, but let's be honest, the horns on his car would be a more interesting guest. So he talks about Booker T. He talks about Shawn Michaels. He says he's not going to invite Shawn Michaels out of respect for Bret Hart.
I like that. That was good.
That was good. He says I could embarrass any of those guys, but the perfect guest that I have in mind, someone that embodies the state of Texas, a broken down shell of his former self living on past glory. We haven't seen this guy in a while. He's probably letting himself go, drinking beer all day. His knees were so shot he needed to wear knee braces to get through his matches. So if he accepts my invitation, will he need a walker to get down to the ring? The ramp is very long.
Yeah.
He says, nothing would make me happier than to beat the hell out of this guy and give him a stunner the world will talk about for years, and then pour a nice cold glass of milk over his body. I know he's watching, and I don't think he has the guts to show up. But the bottom line is, I'm calling you out. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And the fake crowd pops. I mean, the crowd actually did pop, but like the crowd noise was just obnoxious.
It was.
As hell.
And then they played Stone Cold's music like he was going to come out. But then they just went to the graphic.
Because they went to the graphic. Yeah, they should have got. Yeah, I know. It was really silly.
They should have played WrestleMania theme.
Yeah. This morning was when they Stone Cold gave his response in this wonderfully little film thing, and we got our very own Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator, Phil McDonald, in here to go ahead and recreate this for us, to avoid the copyright implications of just running it here on the show.
Yeah.
So basically it shows he's, Fightful Gaming rated us. What's up, everybody?
Thank you, Fightful
What's
Gaming.
up, Fightful Gaming? Good timing because I'm about to do Phil McDonald's Austin impression. So he's driving on a dirt road, probably near Broken Skull Ranch, and then he stops. And then he gets out and he says, 19 years ago, I wrestled my last bitch in a WWE ring. After 3 rock bottoms, 1, 2, 3, I lost the Mitch. And for 19 years, I've had to live with that defeat, knowing my time was up. Kevin Owens, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for waking something up deep inside me that I've kept buried for 19 years. Ever since you started running that damn mealy mouth of yours, talking about the state of Texas, the great state of Texas. You got my attention. And why would you want to do that, Kevin? I could think of 2 reasons. 1, you're a damn son of a bitch. And 2, you're fixing to get your ass kicked by Stone Cold Steve Austin. But if you want to call this KO show a match, a brawl, a fight, whatever, I will guarantee you this. In Dallas, Texas, where I started my career at WrestleMania, Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to open up one last can of whoop ass on you, Kevin Owens. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald said so.
Well done.
There you go.
There you go. That was Stone Cold's response.
That was the response. And then Kevin Owens responded with, beautiful, perfect. I'm looking forward to it, Steven. Wow. Anyways, let's go ahead and answer some questions from some dumb sons of bitches over on the Patreon. Highlight your messages in the Twitch chat. Let's see here. Cameron Bartolazzo asks, what is the kayfabe reason KO and Seth can't just challenge someone to a match at Mania like every other person does? I think in kayfabe on Raw, they're like, look, we got a bigger roster. Not everybody can make it in. We got to share with SmackDown. So no challenges.
Could be.
Got to run it by us first.
White Brownie says, let's say hypothetically Cody and Seth does happen at Mania. What's the best way to set up the match, and does it happen next week in Jacksonville? That's right. Raw is going to be in Jacksonville next week.
Yeah. You just have Cody come out and ramble for 15 minutes, and
probably.
He's all over the map.
Say? Yeah. What did you say, Cody?
Yeah.
Your match with Seth. All right, fine.
Yeah. Not the contract I was hoping. That's what he should say. Not the contract. When Vince McMahon sent me the second contract, not the one I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Not the first one that he offered me.
Chill Gaming Inc. with subs has finally made the big 1 year and many more, friendos. Well, thank you so much, Chill Gaming Inc.
Thank you very much. Let's see here. Nope. Is there any other...
Favorite customer asks, if AJ wins the match, Edge will probably go back to being a face, but if Edge wins, will he stay a heel? Everything so far, granted, is short little bits between AJ and Edge. I got AJ winning this one already.
So AJ took the big beat down. But on the other hand, Edge is a brand new character now. So... I don't know. I need more information. I need more data.
I feel like they really want AJ going forward to be a face. That's probably why they decided to do the heel turn with Edge. AJ gets the win over Edge, and they're going to push him for something. To face Roman, to lose to Roman, I don't know.
I think we had a weird double thing happen. You froze, and your camera has actually froze. So I got that little bit what you said. But isn't it weird? Like, we have a brand new Edge, and AJ took the big beat down. AJ should win this, but we have a brand new Edge. So I need more of a data set.
We also had a brand new Edge last year before WrestleMania. He got stacked.
Yeah, but he's not facing Roman this time. Yeah, I'll see. I'll see what the go home math is. If the go home math is AJ comes back and beats up Edge, then I don't know. I think Edge probably wins. If AJ comes back and Edge is just so vicious that he beats up,
I don't really feel like
AJ?
I need to see much else. AJ wins.
AJ wins. Okay, all right, there you go. It's in stone. Nikyle says, "Are there any other WrestleManias you can think of where WWE put everything into one storyline?" And about 2 to 4 wrestlers, leaving the others to feel irrelevant. Yeah, Cameron points out Rock versus Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done that before.
They have. They definitely have.
I kind of don't feel like that's the case here, man. I think they've got a couple of big matches here. One of which is obviously Austin and Goldberg versus Seth and Kevin Owens.
You know, if you say that enough, it's not going to materialize it into existence, you know.
How many times do I have to say it to materialize it? Like, what's my limit?
I mean, your limit should be just you said it once, and then that should be it. It should just go
and then
on.
It doesn't happen?
It just never happens, and we forget
it doesn't happen?
said it.
All right, fair enough. Mr. Sinister says Hogan versus Rock. Even that had Stone Cold versus the NWO on it.
Mm-hmm.
Which should have been amazing. Let's see here. This is a great question. Mayor of Planet Houston. In kayfabe, why would The Miz choose Logan Paul of all people to be his tag partner when he could choose anybody else to be his partner?
He doesn't have any friends. No one likes him.
Nobody likes him.
No one likes him. You have to go outside the world of wrestling to find a partner because no one likes him.
Yeah, that is actually pretty easy to explain. Let's see here. Plan 9. Given the number of celebrities involved in this year's WrestleMania, which celebrities would you like to see wrestle a match in the future? Can't be from the world of sports either.
Oh, all right. Trying to think of anybody else I could recall that's actually a pretty massive wrestling fan.
I'm going to go with I'll go with John C. Reilly.
All right.
I think he'd be wonderful.
I mean, that'd be wildly entertaining, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be terrific. John C. Reilly.
All right, that's a good
That's
answer.
good.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Will Ferrell, they could be a tag team, and they could take on Stone Cold and Goldberg.
See, now you're on board, man. I like this. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of greasing.
You want a Diamond Mine shirt? It's on sale at WWE Shop.
Quantos
$12.
dineros? $12?
Yeah.
Can we make it $6?
I mean, it's not name your own price on WWE Shop, so sadly no, Steve.
Loses
Whoa,
Danny DeVito.
hold on. You can get a Cameron Grimes replica hat for $12. The one he used to prize so
What?
dearly.
Damn.
Now they're on clearance.
Hey, for Friendo Club TV, can we just look at? Can we react to
Sure.
WWE Shop? We should do that just for Friendo Club TV, like the channel. That's right. We don't call the podcast anymore.
No, it's Overrun.
Overrun. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna do a bonus episode today for Overrun. So be sure you are subbed here on the Twitch. Be sure you are a $5 and up Patreon subscriber or a YouTube channel member so you can continue the fun today here at Going in Raw. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Tonight, I'm going to be continuing my rise through the ranks of WWE as Steve Thunder in WWE 2K22, twitch.tv/MFSteve here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.